My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. Now, when any two teams play a cricket match or any game of sport, for example, one emerges the winner, the other emerges second best. But I have to say, at the end of this game, there was one team that's the winner, but the other team, for some reason, for the second 20 overs, didn't really seem in the contest at all. And that seems a little bit bizarre. The final a margin of victory, 44 runs, 175 for 3, playing 131 for 7. But the real question we're going to have to try and answer over the next few minutes is how much of that 20-over run chase were they actually invested in getting to 176? Faf du Plessis, as usual, the standout performer, 43 of 35. And this little bit of a cameo from Kedar Jadhav in the middle, but there was nobody else who really seemed invested at trying to go for 8 or even 9 and over. It was not a mountain to climb. It was just a bit of a hill, but they decided they were going to stay on the flatland throughout. I wonder if my panel of experts agrees with me. Simon Doull, Harsha Bhogle. Was I being a little too harsh in my introduction, Harsha?
I'm trying to figure out this run chase because I don't think there was a chase. I think it was a stroll, and it was a bit like when I try to jog and I say, right, I think I'm going to jog 5 kilometers and I do 2 and come back. And, I said, didn't feel like it. I just did 2. So I just likened it out. I just put out a tweet. I just likened it to their run chase to someone who spends so much time packing that they reach the station late and then they run after the train, but it's already gone.
Simon, your take on the run chase just overall?
Yeah, 31 balls between the opening combination for 24 runs. Murali Vijay, Shane Watson couldn't get going. You get off to such a slow start. There's no one after that really trying to put their foot down. I mean, I can't lay any blame or anything at Faf du Plessis' feet because he's been brilliant the first couple of games. He got another 43 today off 35. He's striking at 122. He just didn't quite find his timing tonight. But everyone else just seemed like they were just stuck in the mud and unable to move, unable to find the middle of the bat, unable to find the ability to push ones, twos, all of those things. It wasn't even a muddled chase. It never got to that chase. And I do tend to agree with you. I'm not sure where Chennai go from here. They laboured their way the other night against Rajasthan and then put their foot down right at the back end when it was way too late. Tonight, it just seemed like there wasn't a lot of intent. If they were bowled out in the 16th over for that score, I take that. I go as a coach, as a cricket pundit, I go, yep, fair enough. They gave it a crack. They were under the pump. They gave it a crack. They bowled out in the 16th over and they scored that same score. Put your hands up and go, gave it a go. But tonight, it just did not seem that way.
Yeah, remember at the start of the show, we told you about sides winning the toss and being almost committed to fielding first, and yet it's sides who are batting first, winning games more often than not in this tournament. Dew really doesn't seem to be a factor because if it is, and the bowlers are having problem gripping the ball, it doesn't matter because the run rate is 20 and over, and you could bowl with a cake of soap at that point in time. And this is a figure that we've just updated, and once again, look, no change in the story. Lost by 44 runs, and look at the required rate at the 10th over, 12.9, and it kept climbing.
Dew pales before intent. You can have all the dew you want, but if there was no intent in that run chase, I mean, we're searching to find meaning in this run chase only because it is Dhoni and CSK, and because Dhoni, with a mind of his own, has pulled off so much in the years gone by that when Dhoni does something, we all start to search and all start to find meaning in it. If it was some other side, would have said, hang on, what happened there? So because it's Dhoni, we're searching for it, and we're trying to say, okay, maybe he's trying to figure out, maybe he's trying to get people back in form, maybe all that, but they're not tried. Two chases in a row.
They all look rusty, Harsha, to me. They all look rusty. And look, I know everyone's had time away from cricket, and I get that. But when you've got guys who are not playing any international cricket and not playing a lot of cricket at all, correct. So I take Watson in that account for a start. He doesn't play any cricket. He plays, a couple of tournaments a year, so not playing competitive cricket often enough. And I know Dhoni's been out of the game for 14 months or so now as well. A little bit of rustiness there. And they lose one of their sort of stalwarts, I suppose, in Suresh Raina. They lose probably their best player in all honesty, and Ambati Raidu. It looks like a team that is struggling to find where they're at the moment. A good win over Mumbai in the first game, but gee, it's gone downhill from there very quickly.
But it's
I
really
think he makes
about
a very valid point. Sorry, God. I think Dooley makes a very valid point. I've seen champions of the game. Matthew Hayden, as big a player as you get. Adam Gilchrist, as big a player as you get. In their last season, they were playing IPL to IPL, and they were looking rusty. So you can't have so many players all playing IPL to IPL. And so the reason we're saying we're not coming as hard is these are all champions. And so maybe fourth game, fifth game, sixth game, they might get their rhythm back and become big players. Shane Watson, one of the all-time IPL greats. Dhoni, one of the IPL greats. So that is why we're all thinking, oh, maybe there's something happening here. But it's never easy when you are out of the game for that long and you're over 30, 34, 35 to be able to come back strongly very quickly.
But to be fair, Harsha and Simon, there are two categories of players who haven't played the game. One is, as you said, the Watsons and the Dhonis, who are basically playing purely the IPL at the moment. The others are those who have been out of the game thanks to the situation in the world. But some of them, like Prithvi Shaw, like Rishabh Pant, they're finding their feet. They're finding it slowly, but they're finding it. We saw only the players from the CPL or from the England-Australia series would have the touch. But these guys have done it, so there's no reason why some of the Indian players like a Murali Vijay or a Kedar Jadhav shouldn't at least have shown a little more intent, if not, ability.
Yeah, some of that might be down to youth as well, youthful enthusiasm and the ability to train longer, harder, because they are young and more enthusiastically. And I'm not saying that these guys aren't training hard, because they do. I know they do. But it's just different when you get to that age. You just do not pick things up as quickly unless you've been in that firing line. And Harsha brought up a great memories of terrific players. Hayden, I throw one of our commentators into that, Kevin Peterson, when he'd retired from international cricket and just tried to play some domestic cricket and leagues. He found it very, very tough because you're not
Andrew
in
Simons?
the fight. Yeah, Andrew Simons. You're just not in the fight time and time again. Brendan McCullum. You're just not in that competition fight where it's international quality cricket. And that's the other thing about the IPL. It is world class. It is international quality bowlers time and time again. This is not a club league. This is the best 2020 league by far in the world. And you are coming up against world class players time and time again. And you will be found out if you're not ready for it.
Yeah, interesting example, Harsha, that Simon brought up, somebody like Brendan McCullum, because a few times I've had the pleasure of chatting with him, especially recently in the Caribbean. It's inevitable in an interview that it'll come up. Baz, didn't you feel like picking up the bat and going out there? He said, no, mate, golf clubs are fine with me. I know when it's time. I know the difference between being out there and match fit and ready and being able to deliver and when I can't.
If you notice, when did Brendan McCullum quit the game? He quit the game in the middle of a small T10 league somewhere. I think he just heard the voice inside saying, it's not happening for you anymore. So I'm not saying this is what is happening to CSK just yet, because there's 11 games to go. And we've seen what Shane Watson can do in the past 2 IPLs in a row. He's almost won them both finals. He won them one, almost won them another. Dhoni last year was magnificent in the IPL, but that was 14, 15 months ago. So if you're 23, 24, 27, 28, 30, you can do that. It gets tougher. So what I'm surprised by is something that I was told many, many years ago by Keith Stackpole. He said the champion players go up the order, not down. And I just thought Dhoni might say, I need as much cricket behind me as possible. Let me go 4. I might lose 1 game. I might lose 2 games. I'll have 60 balls behind me by the end. So let's see. This is CSK, the champion side we're talking about. So we'll wait and see.
I've just actually pulled out the Cricbuzz app and just trying to pick out the jhalak of what MSD has said at the end. He says, yes, obviously, I don't think it was a good game for us. We're lacking a bit of steam in the batting and that hurts. The run rate keeps on mounting after such slow starts, adds pressure. We need to figure that out. We need to come back with a clearer picture looking at the combination. Interestingly, he finally talked about the combination. So which areas he's going to be focusing on, because these are keywords said by MS at the end.
And that's great from MS. So look, the one thing I find, and Harsha, you'd be the same, you very rarely get a cover-up from MS Dhoni. At a pitch, at a post-match conference, you'll never get a cover-up. He is very, very honest about things. And he'll go away with Stephen Fleming. They'll look at this opening combination and say, can we do better? Do we go with Watson and Faf du Plessis? should we maybe move Karanai up to, not Karanai, get Arjadov up to number 3? Should we basically get him in there at 3 with the loss of Ambati Raidu? What do we need to do? Should I bat at 4? Fire your guns. There's no point in having a puff of smoke at the back end of an innings when it's all done, when the war's all over. Fire your guns up front. So maybe pick those top 4 and say, okay, well, we're going to try and take it on. It's our responsibility to do that. Let's see if we can. And I hope they do change it around, because there's still so much time left. There's still plenty of time for them to qualify for playoffs and improve. They've got a bowling attack. I thought Hazelwood was good tonight. They can work things around. If they get Bravo back and he's fit and raring to go, that adds another cog to their mix. So there are opportunities. Just don't, like some teams have in the past, don't leave it too late.
Just say one thing before we start to acknowledge what Delhi Capitals did. Who's the young dasher in this side? In the CSK team, who's the young dasher? Sam Curran. He didn't bat today. He's the young dasher in the side. He didn't bat. But we can look too far there. I was so impressed with Nokia. I mean, I thought for a moment they might play Sams as the left arm quick early on in the tournament. But here is someone, and once again, something I said start of the program. We are discovering with the big boundaries, decent pitches, quality pace is very, very difficult to play. Look at this. I'm just going down that scorecard. Kagiso Rabada, 4 overs, 3 for 26. And Heinrich Nokia, 4 overs, 2 for 21. That's 5 for 57. No, 47. 5 for 47 in 8 overs. Pace, good quality pace. I mean, Nokia was excellent today.
Well, we saw it last night, didn't we? With Sheldon Cottrell, Mohammed Shami. Yeah. We've seen that from Shami was just brilliant. Cottrell as well, been very, very good, I think, in the opening couple of games in this tournament.
So, Pattinson and Bumrah?
Pattinson, Bumrah, Bolt. Yeah, it's working. It's working.
Yeah. Harsha, you nearly had me there when you said who's the young, what was it, young dasher you said?
The young dasher. Yeah.
Young dasher. You almost sounded like a Joy Factor question. I was struggling to find the answer, especially in that team. Finally, we came up with the answer, but you're right. He didn't get a chance. He was pushed up the order in the previous game, and maybe today he should have been told once again, look, it's license time again, go. If you can't, we've got enough to come at the back. At least let's get close to this. But you were right, Harsha. It's time to acknowledge the side that did win rather than continue to pick holes at what went wrong with Chennai. And Delhi certainly did the job, not only putting runs on the board, but they had to do the job. Helped a little bit by Chennai's batting. But as you said, Rabada and Nokia were excellent, but the rest of them also played a supporting act. Amit Mishra didn't pick up a wicket, but he was decent.
But also the matchups. Akshar Patel up front against Shane Watson was a good matchup. So I think they're playing the matchups there as well. The leg spinner in the middle overs. So I think they played that very, very well.
Yes, they certainly did. Remember, at the start of the game, we talked about Akshar Patel being a mile 11 circle trump player. And we were not just saying it for the fun of it. We did back it up with that matchup between Watson and Akshar Patel. But it's also about time when we can try and examine who were the winners, who were the losers, and our My 11 Circle ultimate team of the day. And you can pretty much bet on a few names who were in there. The bowlers, those two, right at the bottom. Rabada gets the nod ahead of Nokia for the vice-captain slot. And, of course, Prithvi Shaw, who was outstanding captain for the day. And Akshar Patel, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, Shikhar Dhawan, really the core of the Delhi victory. And just a few whiffs of Faf du Plessis in yellow. So one person obviously decided he was head and shoulders above the rest. And that is our My 11 Circle champion of the day. 409.5, Mohammad Ismail Sheikh from Mumbai in Maharashtra. Try to do it like Harsha would. Sheikh. Not as good, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. Sheikh, मैं सिखाता हूँ तुम्हारे को अगली बार आप आओ, I'll teach you.
Bilkul. Shaking the head in the right way as well. Okay. So again, this time we've got a little left field on our boost stamina meter because Delhi obviously had the stamina as a team to get to the end. But who was the one bright young spark? Remember we just talked about him? It was, of course, Sam Curran. He gets our nod for the boost stamina meter. And it takes more stamina when you see the rest of the team not quite up to the mark. You have to run a few extra yards. And you can look at this as well. His bowling rating, 88.2. Fielding rating of 50. And of course, bowled at an average speed, 129 for 2. His dot ball percentage, 41.67. By far, Chennai's most economical bowler. So he is their bright spark, but really the question is, others in the team need to keep up with Sam Curran.
Here's the question, Dooley, for you. Here's the question for all of us. Sam Curran has bowled well. He's done everything the ball that's been asked of him. He's been the dasher. Bravo replaces whom?
Oh, Watson. Look, I think that they need runs. I understand that. I understand that if Raidu is back, then maybe they can look at getting Faf at the top. Again, though, they've probably got to find someone to replace Murali Vijay, and who's going to do that? They just don't have. I don't see the depth in that squad, and I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave Bravo or bring Bravo back tonight for Hazelwood. I thought he did a really good job. So, and they need Hazelwood. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I think you've established, Simon and Harsha, both of you, with all the fast bowlers that we've talked about, that long list you mentioned, Hazelwood's on that list. So I think it's pretty much a no-brainer now that these specialist quicker bowlers are going to find their way into the team. All-rounders will have to fight for their spot. So it's Bravo has to push his way into the team. He has to dance his way into the team.
And the funny thing is, who took the most wickets for Chennai Super Kings last year? Didn't he?
TJ.
Bravo.
Tahir. Did Tahir take a lot of wickets last year? How does Tahir come back into this side? How does Imran Tahir come back into this side?
Yeah. Again, I don't know. I mean, they've got some struggles because the players that they need and want in are bowlers, and they need runs.
Yeah.
Tahir's not going to get in 40s, 50s, and 60s.
No.
Yeah.
Problems of plenty overseas. Poverty. Well, not poverty. It's a bad word to use. Problems of plenty and scarcity with the Indian players.
Yeah. He can't even change his nationality. Can Imran Tahir? There's the only way, technically, theoretically, that he pushes his way into the side. Otherwise, he's a natural to be able to get in.
The thing is, sorry, just to finish it off. Look, they lost 2 absolute starters, and that is going to hurt any team. When you lose 2 starters that are local players, and lose 2 starters and overseas players that can be replaced. They lost 2 starters who were genuine world-class players, and they were local players. One of their best spinners and one of their best batsmen. And that is always going to be tough. And after that, their probably second best batsman goes down with an injury. So you take that away from any team in the competition, I think, and when I'm talking about that, you're talking about taking away maybe Hardik Pandya, Rohit Sharma, and Jasprit Bumrah out of a Mumbai side. So they're losing genuine quality. Let's not forget that.
I also think he's got to look at Jadeja and say, give me more. He needs more from Jadeja.
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly does. Not delivering with the ball, as we've always said. Maybe Jadeja is the dark horse to be pushed up the order, and he can start delivering more with the bat. What does the points table say? Well, it's going to tell the story of where the men in yellow are. They are, having played more games than any other team, they're still languishing in the second half of the table. 2 points from their 3 games. Delhi, 2 out of 2, get to the top with a decent net run rate, and they will certainly be ticking those boxes. 1 close victory of a super over, and this time around, a convincing victory, having lost the toss, but won the game as well. Net run rate, it's still early days. I know we said that some teams might end up playing catch-up, but we leave that column aside for the moment. Pick up the points, and you won't have to worry about net run rate. Let's talk about what's coming up next. There's a glut of cricket, and we love it, don't we? Another game coming up. It is the Sunrisers from Hyderabad taking on Kolkata. Yes, it is. Just thought I had that dramatic pause to talk about it on My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live from Abu Dhabi. So it's back to their home territory for Kolkata. They will at some point in time venture out of the safe haven of Abu Dhabi. Just for starters, in the way the teams have been going in the tournament so far, early doors, how do you see that game going, the matchup, Harsha?
I think they've played there before, and now they understand their game a little better. I think they'll look at that batting order again. I think it was McCullum's idea to push Dinesh Karthik up to 3, see what happens over there. whether they're happy with that decision, but they needed more from Morgan and they needed more from Russell. I thought Mumbai Indians bowled fantastically the matchups against those two. And Cummins is such a good player; he will learn from that bad day and come back a better bowler. So I think Kolkata, that first game, they'll come back strongly. They're far too good a side to produce that kind of performance again. So I'm expecting a much better one from KKR.
Yeah, we didn't quite understand Nikhil Nayak's role in that team.
No, they're playing with 10.
Yeah, Simon, a couple of days ago, you did suggest that Sunil Narayan's running out of time at the top of the order. But to be honest, if I could just play counter to that, if he has to be in the team, wouldn't you rather take 10 of 5, 15 of 6 from him every time rather than bat him at 8 or 9?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you make that call and just say, look, he's not going to waste deliveries. I think that's the one thing that you don't want him to be doing. If he goes out there and he gets out second, third, fourth ball, he hasn't really hurt anyone. I understand that. That's fine. The thing about this tournament, though, is what we are seeing is genuine quality opening batsmen, whether they be 50 over opening batsmen or even test match opening batsmen. They're the ones that are succeeding at this level at the moment because of the state of the pitches. They're a little bit more pace in them, a little bit of bounce. They're just doing enough up top. So we're seeing quality batsmen and genuine batsmen doing well at the top of the order. I understand the Narayan point of view, and I think he's probably got a couple more opportunities at the top of the order before they even think about shifting it or changing it. So he will remain there. I agree with Harsha on Pat Cummins. Look, he'll be better for it. It's just so tough. I mean, we quipped the other day about $8,000 a ball, which is what he was getting paid for the other night, only completing his 3 overs. But he is a genuine class cricketer, and he'll be back. He'll be better for that outing, and just the nerves maybe got the better of him the other night. Morgan, Russell, 4, 5, 6 with Dinesh Karthik, 3, 4, 5, wherever they bat. I think those three probably, I think they got it right, to be honest. I'd probably have Morgan at 3. If he doesn't want to bat at 3, then DK's probably got to do that job. But 3, 4, 5 for those 3 guys, I think, are the key positions for them. So if Nitish Rana perhaps wants to go to the top and open with Shubman Gill, that is an option as well. And then bat Morgan, Karthik and Russell at 3, 4 and 5. Again, get your best players to the top of the order and you'll find a way. And with the bowling, from the bowling department, again, impressed with Marvi the other day. We know that Cummins will come back. Whether they stick with Sandeep Warrior or whether someone like Nagakoti is fit, time will tell.
Even Prasidh Krishna, possible contender for that top spot instead of Sandeep Warrior. Does Varun Chakravarti get a look in at some point in time? And if they're looking for that extra batsman, you've got Rahul Tripathi in the mix.
You do, yeah, and one thing that might go in Sunil Narayan's favour is that Hyderabad don't have that quick, bouncy bowler. They've got sort of fast medium kind of bowlers. They've got Sandeep Sharma, Siddharth Kaul, Natarajan played that game. Bhuvi there. They don't have someone. They don't have a Bumrah, someone who's going to make him play there. So from that point of view, I don't think they can play Billy Stanlake. They'll probably have to go with Nabi in place of Mitch Marsh. Billy Stanlake was the one bowler who could have done that, but you don't bring a bowler in for a Sunil Narayan. So they'll probably go back with Nabi or Fabian Allen. So that could be one reason why he goes back up the top. But for the Sunrisers, best to that middle order. Jason Holder comes back in, but I don't know if he can come straight away. So he'll need some time. What do you, Simon?
Yeah, look, to me, I think that side would look better with Williamson in it, and just play your 3 out and out world-class batsmen at the top. To me, that would be the way I would go with the injury to Mitch Marsh. Yeah. Mitch Marsh wasn't going to do a lot of bowling for them anyway. They've got bowling options. If they can find that one more all-rounder, I think if you can have those 3 quality players at 1, 2 and 3 in that lineup, and then you've got Vijay Shankar who can do a job for you as well. So, and Manish Pandey. I mean, that's a very, very strong-looking top 5. Shankar can bowl you some overs, and then just use Rashid as your other overseas. And then just pick in and around. They've got plenty of seam bowling options to me in the Indian department. So I don't have a problem with that. I'd leave Nabi out and just take the runs because I think I'm looking at this competition, Harsh, and I'm thinking, well, runs at the top, quality batsmen, they are going to win you games, and they've got the quality in the Indian bowling lineup anyway. Rashid's always going to be a danger. So to me, that's kind of
they've also got a quality left-arm spinner. They've got a quality left-arm spinner in Shahbaz Nadeem. In Shahbaz Nadeem, he's sitting in there, so they can play him there. And I like the idea of maybe Williamson at 3, just holding it together. That allows Manish Pandey to bat at 4, and then Vijay Shankar at 5.
Vijay Shankar at 5.
Yeah, Abhishek Sharma can give you 1 or 2 overs too. So maybe that's what they'll do, because there is a problem at 3. Unless they're saying, we'll send Ridhiman Saha out and say, you go and do what you want at 3, and then Manish Pandey at 4. So they've got those options there. There's no doubt about it.
They left out their leading wicket taker from last year. They left him out of the game the other day. Khalil Ahmed. He took 19 wickets for them last year. He was their leading wicket taker. And yet he didn't play in the first game. Now, I know Trevor Bayliss wasn't here last year, but
he'd know.
Surely he'd know. I couldn't quite figure that. He gives you a great left arm option. It's something a bit different, and I think he's a good cricketer. He's a very good cricketer. So to me, leaving him out was bizarre.
In the lead up to the World Cup, he actually played a lot of games for India, so he had a lot of experience. So that could be an option. We're seeing that the left arm option could be thing. So it should be a good game. That the Sunrisers taking on the Kolkata Knight Riders. Both of them need a win. So even though it's early days, there'll be a little bit of needle there. Not as big a ground, isn't it? As Dubai. Dubai had 83-meter boundary, so we only saw 3 6s or 3 4 6s in the game. Abu Dhabi 73, so you can still score 6s if you're settled. So both teams with that little batting order to sort. So there you are. Right, joy factor. I told you we need joy.
What is it? What is it?
We need joy a little bit. Right. Let's see what it is. Let's get you the joy factor. And I think the name that you were referring to, Simon, earlier on was Jason Gallion, wasn't he? Was Australian, went back, played for Lancashire. James Hamlin, Graham Vogue, James Ormond. Yeah, I've heard of James Ormond as well. David Taylor, all part of cricket history. I saw one of the answers on Twitter. I'd be very keen to know if that is the right answer. And there it was, the right answer. The first ever set of official T20 games played on the 13th of June in the English T20 Cup. James Ormond was also man of the match of the final for Surrey. They were the man of the match awardees, man of the match winners. That's a good one, actually. Who got that? Let's figure that out. Who got that answer right? And I mean, whoever it was, he was seriously good to get that. Maybe he could Google it. I don't know if he could. High IQ expert. I'll tell you 2 things about you, my IQ expert. Yeah, I have no idea who you are, but you rate yourself. So at high_IQ_expert on Joy Factor. Well done. Very well done indeed. I'm liking the fact that Joy is giving you these questions. So there you are. Thank you very much for joining us today. Slightly unusual day. And hopefully CSK are one of the marquee teams. So hopefully they'll come storming back. But look forward to seeing all of you for Kolkata Knight Riders versus the Sunrisers Hyderabad. That was My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. Thank you very much to Simon Doull and to Gautam Bhimani, who just nipped off somewhere. We'll get him back in time tomorrow. So good night from all of us.
Thanks,
here
guys.
on Cricbuzz. Good night.